How's everyone doing this morning? There we go. All right. Welcome, everyone, to Chicago here for Reliable Plant 2025. And this is our route to reliability, or perhaps you say route to reliability. The Kansas is strong with me, so that's still, said route right there. Now, obviously, it takes a lot of people to put this on. So if everyone would give me a big applause for the Noria staff, they've worked really hard putting this on. So a few things I want to bring up. So of course, today being June 3rd, and I was looking at what happened in history today. In 1880, the first wireless message was sent through the telephone, and that was Alexander Graham Bell. You think about that, wireless message, 1880. That's incredible. 1965, Ed White was the first American to walk in space. And then today is also National Egg Day and World Bicycle Day. So for those of you that got some of the breakfast burritos and breakfast sandwiches, we're celebrating National Egg Day. So that's exactly what's going on. Now, this week, we've got a lot of great information out there. We had some great workshops yesterday. We had a ton of attendance yesterday. And I think that this is a great celebration for the reliability and for the maintenance space. And if everyone could do me a favor and kind of stand up where you're at. Come on, let's get on our feet a little bit. I want to do a couple things here. I'm going to count to 3. I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, and I want everyone to say Reliable Plant 2025. Ready? So here we go. 1, 2, 3. Awesome. Now, since this is a whole social media thing and I get in trouble when I don't do social media, this is now going to be a video. Now that we have practiced it, all right? Once we finish saying 2025, I want everyone to cheer. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Yeah, there we go. Awesome. All right, everyone can sit down now. All right, that's fantastic. Now I'm not going to get in trouble. I've done my duty for the week with social media. And for everyone else, you can always post on LinkedIn and Instagram. And Travis, what are the other ones that you're on? I can't remember. Facebook, there we go. Whatever the social media, use your hashtag or your pound symbol, Reliable Plant. Now, not only has the Noria staff been busy putting this on, but I do want to give a special shout out to our sponsors. So this is for, different refreshments, Wi-Fi. Yes, please join us to hear some applause. So the sponsors make a lot of things possible, and including one thing that we're really excited about. So we see our buddy Larry over here on the side. This is the second year in the row that we are going to be presenting the Lube Room Challenge. So Larry, very much thank you for bringing out the trophy here. Later on this week, you'll actually see Larry and I go toe-to-toe for the other championship belt. Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship of the World. That's what we're going for. So at this time, I would like to bring up our representatives from OilSafe who sponsored this award, especially Paul. I know Paul's going to be presenting this award for us. So please give us a round of applause for Paul and the OilSafe team. And of course, a lube room, that is a big challenge, for people to come on, and obviously it takes a lot of people to put that on as well. So come on up. No, all right.
RP 2025, welcome. My name is Paul Gasaway, and I have the fortunate opportunity to participate in the Lube Room Challenge. We want to thank Noria for allowing us to sponsor the Lube Room Challenge this year. We had a tremendous amount of entrants to the competition this year. As you know, reliability is a journey for these organizations. It takes a lot of individuals, it takes a lot of groups, it takes a lot of support from suppliers, experts to really move them down the road to reliability. And one of the fundamental aspects of plant reliability is lubricant storage and handling. And so a lot of these organizations invest a lot of time and dollars in improving how they manage lubricants from the time it comes to the door really until the time it leaves their site. And it's exciting. This year, I was personally involved on the latter part of the execution, but with GP Toledo, this organization has a tremendous amount of corporate support, local support, to really make tremendous strides in their plant reliability. So on behalf of OilSafe and Noria, I'd like to award the 2025 Blue Broom Challenge to GP Toledo.
Awesome. Come on down.
About 2-3 years ago, when we looked at our lube room, our organization wasn't well, and we knew we had to do something. And so we looked at what we could do to better ourselves in lubrication best practices. I said, well, I want to build a lube room. And so they said, all right, let's do it. And so we just started drawing things out on a piece of paper, literally, and went from there.
Well, I've been here at Georgia Pacific for 31 years. And from back then to now, that was primal back then. Now we're pretty much state of the art. With the lube room set up now, we can keep everything super, super clean, where we didn't have that. These setups here, we can come in and we do this every Thursday and Friday. We pull these little buttons that are on the faces of each one of these stations, and it will automatically cycle the oil through. These codes that corporate has set for us is very, very high. You'd have to take one of your hairs off your head and cut it into maybe 100 slices. And that's how far we're taking this cleanliness code down to one particle. This whole program is spread now, not just from the lube room, but also out to the equipment.
We started adding in kidney loop systems to our smaller capacity lubrication assets. So our oil is getting continuously filtered on all those assets. Lubrication best practices is really a simple task. And it's a lot of the little things that can either make you or break you or in the success of what you're going to do.
We are Georgia Pacific of Toledo, and we are the 2025 Lube Room Challenge champions.
Well, thank you. It's been a hell of a journey for sure for us. It's been a couple years in the making, and I don't do a lot of this stand-up stuff, but I'll work through it. But first of all, I'd like to thank Noria for the recognition of Toledo. It's like I said, it's been a hell of a road for us to get here, and it takes some time to get there, and with all the planning and stuff that we did, and making sure we were making the right decisions and where we were going, and it definitely took a lot of people to get us there. OilSafe was a big help with that. Motion, there's a couple people I want to recognize. Motion worked with OilSafe and in the complete design along with my team back here. Unfortunately, I couldn't bring all my guys, but I brought these three fine gentlemen back here. They worked directly with these guys and helped them design what they wanted. And, Randy, he's around here somewhere. There he is. Randy been with Toledo for 22 years, servicing us through Motion, and he's since retired. And since we won this award, fortunately, we talked to Scott, and they got to bring him back to be here with us today, because he was a lot of help and a lot of support for us. So it's a big deal. There's a couple other people I'd like to recognize. We got some corporate guys here that's really, really been helping us out. It's really challenging to get to where you're at to this point. And we've put a lot of work into this, and these guys have been there ever since. So Matt Spurlock, Doctor of Oil, man, I appreciate you. You're with us on a weekly basis. going over our oil samples and really working with us to make sure we make the right decisions in the paths moving forward with the strict ISO codes you've given us. But we know you're trying to do the best, sir. Jeff DeSarmo, man, you're part of the family to us. If it wasn't for you helping us get that last little bit of funding, we probably wouldn't have been here today. So certainly appreciate it. And then, like I said, I couldn't bring my whole team, but I brought the three here, and like I said, they designed this whole thing. So they've really worked hard to get to where we're at, and they deserve this award. I'm more or less a support group type guy. So anyways, that's all I have, but thanks.
Awesome. All right. That was awesome. Yep. Yeah, you guys can go. Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. There you go. Yes. Yeah. Thank you guys. That's an awesome story. Obviously, it takes quite a bit of people, and I love the shout-outs at Noria, where we try to do shout-outs in all of our meetings, so it was great to see the shout-outs to the corporate team, and look at that Oil Safe team heading out. Of course, they'll be in the exhibit hall as well, so you can see exactly what all happened, but give GP Toledo one more round of applause there. Yep. All right, so we're pretty excited because we have one more award to give away this morning, and this is going to be a brand new award, so thank you there, Larry. And this is what we are calling our Reliability Champion Award. And we're really excited about this because with this Reliability Champion Award, what we're trying to do is find someone that embodies what we believe a reliability champion would have. And that is commitment, right? Really trying to make improvements. Innovation, because sometimes we have to get a little bit tricky to actually get things, in place. And then leadership in reliability.
So at Noria, we have the privilege to see firsthand all the really hard challenges like Georgia-Pacific experience and getting through these changes, fighting through it. And sometimes it takes an individual that can balance between the carpet and the concrete, who can balance between building strategy and boots on the ground grit. And this is an individual we're talking about, individual award. This is not a team award. Someone that is focused on the machines, but also focused on building a team, empowering that team, right?
Yeah, and that's exactly it. So we're looking for someone that showcased that they have implemented a meaningful change to their maintenance and reliability program, someone that promotes a strong, lasting culture of reliability, and that mentorship that you talk about. So important to actually, bring their team members up and, introduce very much forward-thinking platforms and programs to move the needle in reliability.
Now, one thing you may not know, this is a peer-nominated award. So what that means is someone else was nominating an individual. That's kind of special because you can't nominate yourself necessarily and get that attention. But I was kind of surprised in a good way at how many really quality submissions there were. It made it really challenging, honestly, because I heard stories that were inspiring me, and I was like, gosh, I want to pick that one, the next one. It was not just me, this is a committee here. But I was really pleased to see all the amazing stories, and we want to share a lot of those with you throughout the next coming months in different ways. But we did have a way of picking one person.
Yeah, one definitely stood out. And this story, was filled with what you'd expect, perseverance, leadership, and of course, transformation of a program entirely.
So it's my honor to present the first Reliability Champion Award, someone who embodies what it means to lead with integrity and drive change. So let's learn more about her journey. Lysandra Kobu, will you please come back on stage?
In the world of reliability, few stand out quite like Lysandra Kobu. With nearly 30 years of experience, Lysandra brings not only knowledge, but purpose. Her drive? The certainty that reliability and continuous improvement will build safer, more efficient, and more competitive operations. In just her first year as lubrication supervisor at Vale's Pelletizing Plant 8, she transformed the maintenance culture. From filtering oils instead of replacing them, saving over $250,000, to certifying her entire team, Lysandra leads by example. She's not a do-as-I-say leader, she's a do-as-I-do. And it works.
We have achieved significant financial gains at Vale's Pelletizing Plant 8 in less than a year.
Her enthusiasm is contagious. Whether in the lubrication room she spearheaded building, or in the field alongside her team, she empowers others with practical guidance and measurable improvements.
Congratulations! You won the Reliability Champion Award!
Really? I'm very happy, thank you. It's very important to me because I dedicated my life in this issue, lubrication machinery.
When she learned that she had won the 2025 Reliability Champion Award, it was a moment that honored not just what she had accomplished, but how she did it. With consistency, with passion, and with purpose. Lysandra is the first woman in Brazil to be certified as a machinery lubrication engineer. But she's not focused on firsts. And what excites her most? A future where more professionals embrace lubrication as a cornerstone of reliability. Congratulations to Lysandra Kobu, Reliability Champion. Your story inspires us. It's not just an example of what reliability can achieve, but who it can elevate.
Thank you. I need to talk some words to my friends. I would like to thank you, all the people who inspired me on this journey of reliable lubrication. Many of whom are here today. I dedicate their award to my family, to all professionals who work with machinery lubrication, especially Mr. Thiago Soprani, to the Vale Lubrication Committee, to the Vale Lubrication team at Plant 8, represented here by my colleagues Mauro Cordeiro and Henrique, and for all professionals passionate about lubrication and reliability. Thank you so much.
Congratulations. All right, so I do have the privilege to introduce the next presenter this morning. I'm looking forward to this message. So it is called "We Are Going to Bench the Wrench." All right, and with this presenter, I've happened to learn from him personally at Noria, and he says that he is in the people business, which I think is a great way to put this. So please put your hands together and welcome on the stage Mr. Jody Parsons. Absolutely.
Good morning. Okay. Hey, did you all see that Raiders of the Lost Ark was on this morning? And so I'm Dr. Jody Parsons. 90% of the reason I did that was Indiana Jones. And he was on this morning, and I thought, this is serendipitous. This is perfect. Well, welcome to Reliable Plant 2025. I'm thrilled to be with you this morning. I have a learning session tomorrow as well. Today, I want to talk to you about bench the wrench. We have a different focus this week. We're out of our normal a little bit. We're in a different place, sleeping in a different bed, eating different food. Things are not normal. As a result, the tools that you use this week may need to look different than the tools you consistently use when you're doing the frontline work. That's what I want you to think about. I also want to thank you for the work that you do. I don't do your work. I couldn't do your work. I'm not good at that kind. If I even look at a power tool, it costs me $250 and a trip to the ER. That's not a joke. But the dog food that my dogs like, the windows in my home come from you all, and probably many, many, many more things that I don't have any idea about. Between last year and this year, I wrote a book. The book is called The Field Guide to Leadership Coaching. It's available at the bookstore. I only have 120 copies. It's also available on Amazon, but the release is not until the second week of August. So if you're interested in what you're hearing, you can pick up a copy of the book while you're here or at Amazon. Again, in Indiana Jones in The Last Crusade, he has that journal that he's got to go through and his dad has written in. So I don't have that, but I did put a compass on the front of the book. So there's that. There's a lot of Indiana Jones references through my stuff. The first chapter in the book is about the 3 C's of commitment. And you might be thinking, this isn't for me. I'm not in your world, Jody. I'm not a leader. I don't coach leaders. Somebody's watching you. You're leading someone. It could be your family. It could be that person on your team that's a little junior to you. They don't have the experience you have or the years that you have. They're watching you. You're leading them. It could be that person on your team with way more experience than you, but they see that spark. They see that fire. They see that desire. Somebody's watching you. There's an author I really pay a lot of attention to. His name is James Clear. His book is called Atomic Habits. If you have to buy one or the other, buy his book. And in Atomic Habits, James Clear says, every action you take is a vote for the person you want to become. Every action you take is a vote for the person you want to become. There are 3 ways you can commit, not only here, but at work, in your family. We're going to specifically talk today about how you could commit here and what that means long term. In order to do that, we need to talk about engagement. Engagement is the science behind how you show up, how you were contributing. This is the reliability measure for performance. Engagement is a predictor of performance. Engagement is a predictor of reliability. So you talk about, I just heard the award winners talking about, they come and measure our oil samples. Yes, this is the measure of performance. Now this information comes from Gallup. In the 80s, if you were lucky, your phone, the phone that was attached to the wall, rang during dinner time, and it was somebody from Gallup, the polling organization, and they were going to ask questions. Gallup has become the industry leader in workplace engagement. The numbers in green are the US and Canada. The numbers below represent global engagement. 31% of employees are engaged in the work. 52% are not engaged. 17% are actively disengaged. Now, those that are engaged, they carry the vision and mission of your company forward. They have an intrinsic motivation. It matters to them. It's way more than a job or a paycheck. They take it personally. I'm not saying they work for free. I'm not saying they work without being paid overtime. I'm saying they have an internal commitment that drives them to be the best. That's 30%. That's also 30% of the people in this room. That's 30% of the people at your table. It's 30% of the people on your team. 52% of employees in America report they are not engaged in the work. Here's the danger. They are a liability. They bottleneck everything. They wear a mask because they are effective on their employee evaluations. But they cannot replace you, and they do not make any difference in the relevance of your company 5 months from now, 5 years from now. And then unfortunately, 17% of employees in America report they are actively disengaged in the work. These are the people that refer to you and other leaders as they. They don't know what they're doing. They don't understand what we do. They do that parking lot talk. You wonder why they're even there. It's like, did they get sentenced? Did a judge sentence them to this job? Is this part of your parole? They need to leave your company. Here's the issue. 52% of the people in this room, 52% of the people at your table, 52% of the people on your team are not engaged in the work. So I want to take you through 3 personas. This, by the way, is the proper use of ChatGPT. I had the idea, but I couldn't put it into your language. This is Mike. Mike is a conference collector. You see the 3 C's of commitment? You can be a collector, a contributor, or a challenger. Mike is a conference collector. You see what he's clutching so tightly in his left hand? His blue bag. And he's going around to the vendors and not making eye contact, and when they're not looking, he scoops it all into his bag. I heard a Mike yesterday. If this was you, please don't raise your hand. Checking in. And they pull it's like that Walgreens receipt of paper out of their ID, and they go, here's what they started talking about, the drink tickets. All they wanted to know was about the drink tickets. Was that for one day? Was it for multiple days? Were there more? How do I get more drink tickets? Mike, you can have mine. I don't need them. And by the way, I know that you are highly engaged when you're here because I go to bed super early, because I get up super early. And all the rooms here face the middle. And at night, when you're in that bar area, you keep me awake. So I know you have the ability to be highly engaged. Here's the problem with Mike. There's no return on investment. You think about what it costs to send someone here. You think about paying their salary while they're here. Why is he here? What is Mike doing to give a return on that investment? Mike is a barrier to progress. You know what radio station he listens to? WIIFM. What's in it for me? He is a liability to reliability. Do you see what I did there? I was an English teacher. Wait, come on. Wake up. Let's go. Now let's talk about another persona. This is Lisa. Lisa is a conference contributor. This is your not engaged employee that seems engaged. This creates the biggest liability. In terms of the conference, Lisa goes around and gets all these materials. And she's constantly thinking, she's sending emails to people back at work. Hey, I found something for you that can change everything. Oh, great. When Lisa comes back, she's going to schedule an hour meeting with me and explain to me why I need to change things that I don't need to change. Even worse, when Lisa gets back on her own team, she goes in and says, we're going to do all these things differently. I learned so much. Lisa's wearing a mask. Lisa is really living in fear that she's not good enough to do the work, that somebody's going to find her out. And this is not unique to Lisa or women. Please don't think that. If you have a problem with the images, talk to ChatGPT. The problem with the Lisas is that when they go back and they say, hey team, come together. Okay, here's everything I learned, and over the next 6 months, and the next 9 months, and the next year, here's what we're gonna do. Something happens. There's a part of your brain, it's about as big as the end of your pinky, it's almond-shaped, and it's called the amygdala. And that's your fight, flight, or freeze response. And unfortunately, the amygdala is hijacked during times of change. And so Lisa can create a panic among her team. Here's the problem. She's engaged. She seems to be engaged here. full of potential, but she's a bottleneck of ideas. There's no return on the investment. She contributes, she participates, she creates excitement, but she doesn't execute anything, and actually causes an incredible amount of panic on her team. But she's good to have here. That's interesting. Now, if we go back to our Gallup statistics, 52% of us fall into this category. We mean to do something, we want to do something, we think we're doing right, but we're really creating a bottleneck of innovation. And then there's Darius. Darius is our conference challenger. What does a challenger do compared to a contributor or a collector? Well, let's review. Mike, the conference collector, he just shows up and gets things. He's looking for presents, like, oh, I have something to take back for everyone. I'm going to be really popular when we get back. I got extra drink tickets, bro. But he complains about what we have for lunch. Mike will complain about a free lunch. If he's on your team, look at him right now. You just point him out. I'm kidding, don't do that. But you know who I'm talking about. In fact, as I talk about these people, you know what's happening? You're getting images of people you work with. And the people sitting next to you, yeah, they're picturing you in one of these as well. Right, so let's go back to the beginning. This doesn't apply to me. I'm not a leader. I don't need this. You are a leader. Because somebody invested in you to be here, and somebody's watching you. Now, Darius is the conference challenger. He ignites change. He's attending for the future of the business. Remember, James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits, says, every action you take is a vote for the person you want to become. And you see, Darius has a clipboard and a pen, and he's going, okay, what's the one thing? I can't carry back everything. I'm going to take some stuff from vendors, but those are the vendors I'm connecting with. I'm going to grab some material like Lisa, but if they were all levers, what lever do I pull to get the most out of the experience when I get back? And it may be his team. It may not be his team, but he finds that something or those two things that he can do and do well when he gets back. What is he challenging? Well, he's not challenging the conference. He's challenging the status quo. Remember, 33% of people are highly engaged like Darius. They help your company be relevant and reliable today, 5 months from now, 5 years from now. And a lot of us want to think, oh yeah, I'm a Darius. Yeah, it's me. I'm a Darius. But I would encourage you to take a long, hard look at that and see. Now, I said earlier that engagement can be a predictor of performance. So let's look 2 years into the future. Where's Mike? He's gone. Somebody offered him a few more dollars an hour. He wasn't in it to win it. Where's Lisa? Well, Lisa's still there, but she's also still a bottleneck of ideas. She has no upward mobility. Because when we talk about Lisa in the executive conference room, we're saying, you know, she'd be good for that promotion in some ways, but her team just hasn't delivered. We need her. She's effective. But she just doesn't have that something that Darius has. What Darius has is that spark, that charisma. He's highly engaged. He's a challenger of the status quo. James Clear says that every action you take is a vote for the person you want to become. And the Dariuses in the room, those challengers, they realize that the consequence of showing up here and being a challenger, the reward for that is in the future. But for Mike, like pawning drink tickets and trading stress balls or Post-it notes or whatever he gets in the exhibition hall, his reward is right now. Do you see that? Now let's imagine this. I've talked about these people as individuals. Let's imagine they're all on the same team. The chances are you have varied commitment, and varied engagement on your team. You may have a unicorn team where everybody's a Darius. I don't know. Maybe. Here's the challenge this week. You can be a challenger by thinking about the person you want to become when you get back, and that you are voting for that person and cheering that person on with every action that you take here this week. Start now. Most of you are here with really dynamic teams. So ask yourselves, hey, when can we huddle every day? Hopefully before Mike gets to the drink tickets. And challenge each other. What did you learn? What did you hear? What do you need to focus on? What do you need to let go? How can you show up today? Well, I'm going to miss the first session because I went out last night. No, you're not. In fact, we're all going to meet for coffee at 7:40. Set a goal for the day. Somebody's going to do that. Somebody's going to set themselves apart as a Darius. It could be you. And if you have a mic on your team and they're here, somebody needs to pull them aside and say, hey, I want to challenge you this week. Well, I'm not a leader. That's not in my title. Some of the best leaders don't carry that title. Leadership has nothing to do with the title. It has everything to do with the actions that you take as a vote for the person you want to become. Thank you for your time. I'm going to turn it back over to Bennett. I'll see you all tomorrow at a session. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Dr. Jody Parsons. I thought that was a powerful message to think about, what your objectives are today. And again, like you said at the beginning, he'll be has another session at 1 o'clock tomorrow. So if you want to hear more about him, I definitely encourage that. He has a lot of leadership training offerings and different things that I've learned from him over the years. So I appreciate him being here with us. So one more round of applause for Jody, please. So one of the reasons why we wanted Jody to speak this morning was because we want to make sure you have a chance to just at least set your mind in the right way to get prepared for the week. Perhaps you've been here all week so far. With Monday was a full schedule of workshops and sessions. There's a lot more, and it's going to be a busy week. So now is the time. I'm not going to ask you to close your eyes. I went to a conference one time, so everybody close your eyes, and no, that's kind of weird feeling to close your eyes around a lot of people around you. But at least just think to yourself, okay, why are you here? Why is the person next to you here? Let me ask real quick. Who's here for the very first time at a Reliable Plant conference? Maybe raise your hand high. Okay, I'm blinded here, so I can't really see. There we go. And how many people have been here at least one other time at Reliable Plants? Raise your hand. Okay, so those are raising your hand right now. I want you to at least help make an effort to talk to those around you that are here for the first time to show them how to make the most of this experience. Maybe your name is Mike. Well, those are just names. Maybe it's Darius. Talk to each other. Noria's event, Noria's Reliable Plant, isn't just another conference. This is about practical solutions. Maybe the word solutions isn't the right word. Maybe it's more about finding practical relatability. I go into a session, I go into a workshop, I go to an exhibitor's booth, and I think to myself, how can I relate to that? Is there something in my job that applies? How do I apply what they're doing into my job? So think about that. How can you relate to what someone is sharing? Because everyone has different experiences here. We're trying to find ways to fit with the real world. Sometimes the real world is a little bit chaotic. Every day there's a lot of things going on that we're trying to work towards. We're humans. We're dealing with those experiences. That's what Noria's Reliable Plant Conference is about. Yes, it's reliability driven. We're sharing information, everyone here is, about how to keep machines running, but it's also people driven. People like you. This is a people event, and we're trying to keep the people running, just like the machines are running. Trying to keep our minds running, focused in the right way. So you're going to learn a lot. You're going to combine that knowledge, but find ways to relate to that knowledge. Everything that's said in the session, everything someone is sharing, think, is this something that I can apply? Is this something that I can really take away? And don't try to list everything. Again, Lisa's listing a lot of things that she could take back to the facility. Find the right things. Try to prioritize what those are. So one thing I like to do at the beginning of these conferences is go through a little bit of statistics. So this year, we have over 500 companies represented. So thank you so much for all of you to be here. Please round of applause yourself for coming to this event. And these excellent organizations, these are the organizations that came as a group, came as a team. That's an important part of all this, because if you're here by yourself, well, I'm glad you're here, but you're going to have to help communicate a lot of this information back to those at your facility. So 500 different companies, almost, I think we probably hit 30 different countries in all, 6 continents. So this is a reliability conference. This is a worldwide event. And I'm including 47 different states represented. Anybody here from Wyoming? Anybody from Wyoming? Oh man, I was trying to make it 48. I was like, how can we possibly not have 40? Someone from, we do a lot of work in Wyoming, so next year maybe. And again, this is a global event, a community. We're all here, again, to learn, but we're here to help. There's a reason why we're not all just going back to our houses and logging online, finding the answers. No, we want to be in a community. We want to support each other. We have experiences we want to share. So find those relatable solutions. Let me go back 1 second here. A little more about statistics. 50% of you are in a leadership role. So I looked at all the attendees. 45% of you have something related to maintenance and reliability in your title. So maintenance, those who are up at 2 a.m. trying to find the right way to fix a problem, called at 2 a.m. to deal with a situation. Thank you. But those in reliability, and a lot of us, all of us, should be thinking about how to prevent those 2 a.m. calls, how to find ways to avoid those surprises where we have to act in emergency. And oddly enough, I did a little statistics just coincidental to Jody Parsons' discussion about the 3 different names. What do you think the most common name was on that list? Mike. 2.5% of people here are Mike. That means that, according to this, if you're in a crowd of 40 people and you want to get to know someone, just say the name, hey, Mike. I got a lot of great Mike friends, so no offense. But you got a 63.6%, I did math right. I know Wes is going to catch me in my math, that you have someone in that crowd of 40 that's a Mike. Now, of course, that was just a coincidence to what Jody was talking about earlier. Second on that list was John, so try one of those names. Maybe John's better, just to move past all that. But we have 3 different groups of people here. Speakers, they're the ones that have already gone through those challenges and are here to challenge you. They're here to give you a chance to give you belief that you can find those same solutions and relate to them. We have the exhibitors, of course, an excellent exhibit hall, and they're the ones here that have fine-tuned those solutions over the years and have something to really share to make it a little bit easier. Doesn't mean it's always easy. And of course, the main group here are the end users, the practitioners, the ones are still experiencing everyday challenges and want to learn more from everyone else around you. Sometimes the lessons that you're learning are the hard lessons. This takes me to my next slide, that I wanted to share something that I have had in my mind recently, something I was listening to. I don't know if you listen to Lex Friedman's podcast. Anybody listen to Lex Friedman? Oh, come on, it's got to be more than one guy. Anybody else here? Okay. Lex Friedman has an excellent podcast, interviews several key people, and he interviewed Narendra Modi. I don't know if you know who he is, but he's the Prime Minister of India. This is like a 3-hour interview, a lot of great conversation. But one thing I took away, amongst other things, that he talked about a story. Back in his hometown, there was a train station. Like there are train stations across the entirety of India. And the train station had a sign that said, shortcuts will cut you short. What that was referring to is if you try to cross the tracks versus going over the footbridge, maybe it gets you there quicker, maybe you shave off a few seconds, but you're taking a risk. You're taking a risk on your life. You're taking chances that you may not have a chance of taking back. And he was conveying those messages that this is the same way we should present our own selves in our life, in our work environment. That sometimes the best way isn't the shortcut, isn't the easy button, but working through the hard challenges and experiencing it yourself. We often are tempted with the quick fixes, and those often lead to mistakes. And you're going to see a lot of different things this week, different experiences people have made, sometimes mistakes that were simply because of a shortcut. So learn from other people's mistakes, and don't let a good mistake go to waste. Learn from it and teach it to others. And so this week, in our world of reliability, maintenance, and leadership, let's put that to work. Let's ask the right questions. Let's build something together as a community, and let's take the time to learn it the hard way, as well as the community of people who are trying to find solutions. So you have a lot of different learning opportunities this week. If you're someone who's struggling with chronic breakdowns in your equipment, long backlogs, maybe those 2 a.m. calls, well, definitely check out maintenance optimization sessions. There's quite a few there. If you're in a position to think long-term and manage assets across their entire life cycle, then go towards some asset management sessions. If your facility is ready to be future thinking, focus on AI a bit more, maybe consider some wireless solutions. Again, this is the day in history of wireless communication. Maybe wireless vibration is something you should focus on this week. You should think about digital transformation. If you're trying to get better at predictive maintenance, maybe thinking a little bit more about proactive maintenance and all the different tools out there with vibration, oil analysis, ultrasound, thermography. Definitely check out the condition monitoring sessions. If you're looking to enter a leadership role, maybe you're already in a leadership role, but you need a little bit of training on how to build your team, how to make your team closer together, a stronger team. There are a lot of really great sessions on training, leadership, and culture. Or if you're new to all this, go to some 101 courses. There's Maintenance and Reliability 101. And if lubrication is a priority to you, and let's be honest, it should be, okay? Then lubrication excellence, there's plenty to learn there. So, exhibit hall, as soon as we get done here, you're gonna go out those doors and to the right, enter the exhibit hall, and please take a close look at where the premier sponsors are in the exhibit hall. All the red exhibit hall booths, that's where they are. So thank you once again for the sponsors this week. Please give a round of applause to all of them. Before I let you out, I want to make sure this experience this week is as good as possible. Making sure you're aware of when the exhibit hall is open. Starting at 9 o'clock today, it's going to be open all day. Same thing tomorrow, starting at 9 a.m., and then towards the end of the week on Thursday until noon. The best way to experience this show is to utilize the Reliable Plant mobile app. So if you have not downloaded it yet, I'd highly recommend it because this is going to be your guide to everything, to the exhibit hall, to where the sessions are. You get notifications. This app's available on the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. So there's the QR code to download it. But one of the most important things I want you to think about with the app is how to experience what is most important in the exhibit hall, what is most important in the sessions, and even have a chance at winning some of the giveaways. So there's a prize giveaway that's going to happen at the very end of the show, Thursday at noon. The way this works, how to play, you must scan using the app itself on not your phone camera, but through the app itself. So you make sure you have the app downloaded. All sponsors and the digital card must be visited to get your first entry into the drawing and unlock other entries. So make sure you visit all of the different Premier sponsors. And visit the help desk, the app help desk, if you have any questions throughout the week. And it's, like I said, a great app. We've built this internally to make sure the experience is tailored to everything you're experiencing this week. And here's your first code. For those of you who have your phone, get it out. This is important. Open the Reliable Plan app. You'll see right here as well. You're going to find QR codes just like this throughout the week, in the sessions, in the keynotes, and a few other places. If you need it later, let me know. Lunches. In the back of the exhibit hall, that's where the concessions will be available. It's open throughout the day, but obviously you can choose when you want to have lunch. Open today and tomorrow. Meet and greets this evening. We have a meet and greet today at 5:30 to 6:30. That's going to be in the exhibit hall. And on Wednesday, tomorrow, first thing, if you're one of the lucky few have signed up, we have a prayer breakfast right here on the reliability stage at 7:30. So that's another thing to expect. Make sure you put the alerts on your app to make sure you're able to get here at the right time for these events. Also tomorrow, we have, back by popular demand, the casino night reception that happens at 5:30. So this is something you don't want to miss after you've gone through the 2-3 days so far of the experience of the event, to get together, have a little fun before we conclude the week. And for those of you who came by VIP, you have access to VIP keynotes and lunches here at the reliability stage today and tomorrow at 11:30, and that includes a lunch over here. And there'll be breaks at 3 o'clock both today and tomorrow. And last but not least, starting at 9 o'clock also today, if you get to the exhibit hall and you need a break, you need to get a massage, there's going to be that too, right there at the rest stop. So with that said, I've gone a little over time. I apologize, but I want to give you a chance to go over to the exhibit hall, see things firsthand, what we have to show off. And there's going to be some different t-shirts and different giveaways. Make sure you get that from all the guys with the orange buckets in the back. Enjoy the show. Thank you guys so much.